Hello guys, so today I am bringing you a One Piece theory slash discussion, and with me I have Boris Anime and ZoroFanboy124. Today's video is going to be about future fights that are going to happen in the One Piece world. I feel like in the future we are going to get a Arlong return, because Arlong is obviously not dead, and he was even mentioned in Sabori Archipelago by hatching, and we know that he's alive. I feel like he's going to make a comeback. And originally, my original idea was going to be like, oh, Arlong's going to fight Luffy as a rematch, but I feel like Luffy might be a little bit too strong. So then my original idea was going to be Arlong versus Nami. I feel like there's something there, but I feel like that won't happen. But Koala versus Arlong will be perfect, because we know Koala's background. They know each other. Koala was really close to the Fisher Tigers, the guy, and I feel like there's something there, and instead of honoring his memory, he went out there and disgraced him. So I feel like Arlong versus Koala will be a really cool fight, even though we know Koala will win. I think it'll be very it's not so much about the quality of the match for this one, it's more about her honoring his memories by defeating Arlong, because Arlong kind of did disgrace the Fishmans and the humans when he went behind, and you know, everything that happened was because of Arlong.
What is up, guys? Boris here. So the first fight that I'd like to see would be Sanji versus Tamago. What better opponent to go up against the chef of the Straw Hat Pirates than a food-themed one himself, Tamago. Tamago meaning egg in Japanese. He's egg-shaped. He even has a teapot on his head with some tea in it. So definitely the food theme there would pair nicely against Sanji. I mean, they're both parts of the sort of monster trio, or part of the top executives when it comes to their respective crews, and so it would be awesome to see them fight out at one point, to whether it's in the future or very far into the future. So I definitely like to see that. Now, the other thing that you guys have to keep in mind is Tamago is from the long leg tribe, and Sanji loves to fight with his legs, so that'd be a perfect match again for those two, and definitely would be a worthy adversary for Sanji. So definitely hope to see that in the future.
How's it going, guys? It's ZoroFanboy124 here, and I'm here today to do a video for Princeton Productions, who wanted to collab on One Piece video, and I'm like, yes, that sounds awesome. Let's go ahead and do that. I will never hesitate to do a One Piece related topic discussion. I love doing that, obviously. That's what my channel is mostly revolved around anyway. But anyway, I'm here today to talk about future fights that I anticipate, that I'm looking forward to, that I'm predicting might happen, and I just overall am very excited for. So the three that I have in mind are kind of interesting, a little bit out there, so give me a little bit of breathing room, guys. I'm trying to go a little bit outside the box with some of these fights, but some of them, I think, if they do happen, they will be absolutely amazing. The first one, I think, is probably going to happen. Probably. And that is Blackbeard versus Shanks. Now, I did a full video talking about this theory and discussing this on my channel, but I want to go a little bit into detail right here. And what I think is going to happen between Blackbeard and Shanks, we know that they have some kind of past. Shanks' scar was given to him by Blackbeard himself. Shanks stated this when talking to Whitebeard on the Moby Dick, when warning him about Ace, and that he shouldn't go after Blackbeard, and that he said that he was not being careless, and he still received the scar pre-Blackbeard getting the Devil Fruit, the Darkness Fruit. So he is definitely someone to look out for in the future, and I think that Blackbeard might be able to actually, when it's all said and done, I'm sorry to say this, don't kill me, guys, he might actually kill Shanks. It might happen. It would make a lot of sense if their fight does happen, which it seems like it's going to happen. I mean, why would Blackbeard give Shanks a scar if they didn't have some kind of ties into destiny, or destined to fight in some way, shape, or form? And if the fight does go down and it's a fight to the death, we all know that Luffy has to be the one to beat Blackbeard. It has to be. So Blackbeard is going to kill Shanks. It just has to happen. And as much as I hate that to happen, and we'll see whether or not Luffy meets up with Shanks first or learns about his death later. There are a lot of assumptions here, but I just would love to see this fight. It would be so great seeing someone with two of the greatest Devil Fruits against someone with the greatest hockey that we've seen in One Piece up until this point clash, and see how that fight would actually go down. It would be absolutely amazing. Just, I can't even imagine how awesome that fight would be. So I hope it happens. I think it would be amazing for the story if it happened. That's all I gotta say.
The next fight for me will have to be, and this is probably going to be a really cool fight, really fun for me to watch, and it's going to be Buggy versus Foxy. The reason I say this is because I feel like Buggy's crew has, he has Mr. 3, Alvida, He has Moji, Kabachi. He has all the people from Impel Down. I really feel like Buggy's crew is getting a little bit up there. You know, it's not like Shank's level, but it is a crew that's going up the ranks. So I feel that Buggy and Foxy are gonna do the Davy Back fight. Maybe some cheating will happen. Who knows? Maybe the last game is a fight. Buggy wins and he gets Foxy to join his crew because Buggy's crew is full. It's kind of like a circus, you know what I mean? And Foxy, apart with his, he already has a huge crew, right? So imagine if Buggy wins, Foxy joins his crew, and then you have all these Foxy pirates that just became Buggy pirates. And I just think it'll be really funny. Obviously, Oda has a lot of favoritism when it comes to Buggy. So it makes perfect sense that Buggy wins, and he gets the whole crew. And it probably won't be an epic fight, because, you know, it is Buggy and Foxy at the end of the day. But I think it'll be very enjoyable to see. I technically do enjoy every time Buggy's on screen. I think it's funny. I think he always has something to add to the story. So I'm looking forward for this actually happening. So it'll be cool to have Buggy have this massive fleet of just, you know, I mean, he is a Chichibukai now, so it's very confident to recruit people under him. So I'm looking forward for this to happen. I really am. I'm a huge Buggy fan.
Now, my next pick for a fight that I'd love to see in the future would be Usopp versus Sanjay and Wolf. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, it might be a bit out there, but if you guys think about it, Oda loves to use religious references in One Piece all the time, especially when it comes to Christianity. So, which one has he not used yet? He hasn't used David versus Goliath. Who better to be a David than Usopp, who is, you know, not really a strong opponent and uses a slingshot? And then who would be the giant? Well, you might argue that maybe at Elbaf, you know, he might do that. But Sanjay and Wolf would be, you know, a perfect candidate for that to go down at the end. Here's the thing, Sanjay and Wolf might be the biggest character in One Piece, but he has the personality of a child. He's very naive, Chopper-esque, I would say. So it would be the perfect opponent for Usopp to go up against, using his trickery and his lies to be able to take him down and further the legend of the god Usopp himself. So definitely that's one fight that I hope will go down at some point.
Going on to the next thing, and it's kind of weird actually because most of these theories, in fact all three of these predictions for fights, are revolving around the Blackbeard Pirates. I'm sorry for not really mixing it up, but these are the three fights I'm anticipating and looking forward to. The second fight involves my man right here, Zoro. I would be amiss to not mention Zoro in some way, shape, or form, being ZoroFanboy124 and all. But yes, his fight with Shiryu of the Rain. Now, Shiryu of the Rain is a very interesting character. He was said to be on par with Magellan during the Impel Down arc. Magellan. Keep in mind, this is the same Magellan that wrecked Luffy. That wrecked everyone, pretty much. He wiped out the Blackbeard Pirates by himself, with ease. Just wiped them out. If it wasn't for Shiryu actually giving the antidotes to the Blackbeard Pirates, they'd be dead right now. They'd be dead. Shiryu is a monster, dude. Like, he's definitely going to be a monster. And his fight with Zoro is going to be absolutely awesome. There are a couple theories out there that possibly Shiryu could be the one to actually defeat Mihawk before Zoro beats Mihawk. Therefore, Shiryu becomes the world's greatest swordsman. Therefore, Zoro has to beat Shiryu to avenge his master and become the world's greatest swordsman. That would be some awesome ass stuff. That would be so great. That would be so great. And if what happens in my first theory and my second theory both happen, that would mean like the Usopp, Luffy, and Zoro fights would all be so epic, so damn epic, and it would build up the final fights against the Blackbeard Pirates in an epic way. So I'm very excited for Shiryu versus Zoro. Shiryu has some kind of odd sword that changes color, I think. It was kind of weird. In the anime, it was portrayed that it changed from blue to red. The sword did, but I mean, I don't remember exactly how it was portrayed in the manga. I'm pretty sure that it was similar, but obviously you can't showcase color in the manga. But anyway, I don't want to go over my time, but basically I just want to say that fight is going to be freaking hype. I'm very excited. Shiryu is going to be a monster. I like his Bison look and Bison look from Street Fighter, so yeah, it looks great.
And lastly, and I really believe out of all the ones that I just said, this one is the most likely to happen. And I'm going to call it right now, and it's going to be Luffy versus Rob Lucci Part 2. I feel like the way that fight went, I feel like that was Luffy's first actual real hardcore fight. I feel like before that, Luffy had some matches that were decent, but Rob Lucci was the person that brought Luffy out to his maximum. Like, I feel like Luffy has such a huge power up, and he still couldn't keep up with Rob Lucci. I feel like after Luffy beat him and what happened with CP9 and everything, I feel like Rob Lucci would want a rematch with Luffy, just not for story reasons, just to prove to himself that he's better than Luffy. Obviously, Luffy in 2 years we kind of have seen how strong Luffy has gotten, but then Rob Lucci himself in the last 2 years, I'm assuming he's going to be a lot stronger. He's going to be a lot cooler. He probably has new moves, and he already had hockey kind of already there. I feel like now he probably mastered hockey in a better level. Maybe he can do full body hockey like Virgo. So you have Rob Lucci versus Luffy. Part 2, I really feel that that's going to be either it might happen near the end. Maybe Blackbeard will recruit Rob Lucci, or maybe one of the other villains hired that we haven't seen yet. I just really feel like we do deserve to see a Rob Lucci versus Luffy Part 2, because the first fight was amazing, so why not give us a second rematch, or give us a rematch and see how good Luffy has actually gotten. Because if you put Rob Lucci against Luffy again, and Rob Lucci has gotten stronger since the time skip, I do feel like he can push Luffy to his limits once again.
This next one is one that I've actually talked about on my channel before, and it's one that I'm really hoping will happen. That is Zoro versus the man himself, the guy who left the Marines to become a pirate, and that's Drake. Now, it was foreshadowed a long time ago that Zoro would fight a dinosaur. He said that not even if a dinosaur stepped on his sword, it wouldn't break. So that leads me to believe that since Drake is the only dinosaur character we've seen in the world of One Piece, then that those two are destined to collide at some point. I mean, given the fact that they're also both swordsmen, and that one is currently working under Kaido, I mean, like I said, it's destiny for them to collide. So I really hope they do have an epic battle at some point. I mean, it'd be really hard to gauge right now who would win, but I would definitely give the edge to Zoro there because of his strength that he's demonstrated throughout Dressrosa in this fight with Pika. So I don't know how strong of an ability the dinosaur is, but you know, hopefully he'll surprise us and he'll put up a big fight against Zoro if that does end up happening. So that's definitely something that I'm looking forward to in the future.
Let's move on to the next fight, the final fight that I'm predicting in the future that I'm very excited for. And this is a bit out there. Admittedly, this is a bit out there, but I would love if this actually happened. And this is also involving the Blackbeard Pirates. Now, I do believe that when it comes to Marco, right? Marco has, assuming that the Whitebeard Pirates are still around, they're going to want revenge for Whitebeard. They're not going to let this just slide. And the death of Whitebeard is definitely still on their minds, I'm assuming. And the person that actually dealt the final blow to Whitebeard was Blackbeard. And on Blackbeard's side of things, Blackbeard is still devil fruit hunting. Now, he already has the strongest paramecia, at least the strongest one we've seen to this point. He has pretty much, assumably, one of the strongest Logia types with the darkness fruit. Now, all he's missing is a zone. And what stronger zone have we seen in One Piece other than Marco's mythical zone, a devil fruit? It's just, the Phoenix fruit is, like, if Blackbeard can attain all three of those fruits, he would be amazing, like ridiculous. He would be ridiculous, and that would be awesome. And I feel like that is a high possibility. It could really happen because, like I said, Marco and the Whitebeard Pirates are looking for revenge, and Blackbeard's devil fruit hunting, and that would make the perfect sense to get that devil fruit. That clash is probably inevitable at some point. Whether or not Marco actually dies by the hand of Blackbeard, will still remain to be seen. But I think that could really be an interesting possibility if it does actually happen, and that fight would be really cool to see how Marco deals against Blackbeard, and whether or not that fight is one winnable by Marco. I doubt it, obviously. Luffy has to be the one to beat him, but it's going to be an interesting fight nonetheless if it does actually go down, which I hope it does. And there's also another side theory kind of connected to this, but also not at the same time, which I'm not so keen on, which involves Zoro, not Zoro, Shiryu rather, beating Jozu and getting Jozu's fruit through Blackbeard getting it for him. That would be interesting, especially if that Zoro-Shiryu matchup does go down in the future, because I think during Alabasta, I believe it was, Mr. One, when he was being defeated, says, "What are you going to do next? Are you going to cut Diamond?" So that could have been some interesting foreshadowing if that actually does happen in the future. If Diamond Jozu does go down by the Blackbeard Pirates, they would take his Devil Fruit as well, the Diamond Fruit, and Shiryu that would make sense. He would get that, and Zoro had to cut Diamond to beat Shiryu. Dude, that would be insane. That would be insane. So, those are my theories, guys. Those are my 3 predictions, rather, for fights in the future of One Piece. A little out there, I know, but let a man dream, you know. I think these fights would be really cool if they actually went down. Hope you enjoyed my video. I'm ZoroFanboy124. Thanks, guys. I'm out. Peace.
And at number 1, the fight that I would love to see the most, that will hopefully occur in the future of One Piece, that I really am wanting to see for several reasons, is Dragon versus Kaido. Now, let's think about this for a second. Luffy is on the verge of defeating Doflamingo and Dressrosa. Anything happens to Doflamingo, they've said it already, Kaido's going to come after the Straw Hats. Not only that, what was the revolutionaries' mission in the first place? What's the reason they came to Dressrosa? It was to end the weapon trading that's going on. And where are the weapons being manufactured? Kaido's favorite island. So, not only is Luffy going to be in a collision course with Kaido if he does take out Doflamingo, the revolutionaries they're finding out. They're trying to find out where these weapons are being manufactured. And when they do find out that it is on Kaido's favorite island, I have a feeling that Dragon might want to step in at some point, seeing as how, you know, 2 of his sons, you know, one of his biological son and Sabo, which I'm sure he thinks of as a son, seeing as how he used the Dragon Talon techniques, you know, he's gonna know that they're at risk going up against an emperor. So I think that that will be the moment in which Dragon will finally take a stance and protect both of his sons by taking on Kaido. I really hope that this happens, and it would be really the first epic battle that we've seen in the New World if that does go down. I mean, we've been waiting to see Dragon for a long time, and I think that with his help, they can take down Kaido and end all the stuff, all the underground stuff that he's been in charge of for the past who knows however long. So I really hope that that does go down, and those were my top 5 fights that I'm anticipating will happen in the future of One Piece. Signing off.
So that's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, guys. Make sure you check out ZoroFanboy124. He was really amazing. He was awesome. I asked him, do you want to collab? He instantly said yes. And also go check out Boris. Boris is really cool. I've been talking to him a lot more lately. He's obviously one of the coolest One Piece theorists that I have seen on YouTube so far. Go check them out. Go to her channel. Tell them I sent you. And thank you for watching this video. Make sure you check out Planet Nerdum on Facebook, where we talk about nerdy, geeky stuff. And yeah, that's about it. So check these guys out. You're gonna love them. Thank you for watching.